The top stories tonight in Y News. The Philippine National Police, despite some reported suspected election-related incidents in various parts of the country, considers the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan election 2023 as peaceful. The COMELEC expresses strong condemnation for the violence that marched today, BSKE. Several voters were met with long lines and encountered slot machine issues during its first automated BSKE at a school in Quezon City. And find out how the intense air and artillery strikes of Israel in Gaza impact the potential for the conflict to spread to neighboring regions. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, October 30, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Kat Numaraos. First in the news. The Philippine National Police considers the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan election 2023 as peaceful despite some reported suspected election-related incidents in various parts of the country. According to PNP Directorate for Operations Deputy Director Brigadier General Chito Bersaluna, these recorded incidents do not significantly affect the overall conduct of the election.
The conduct of 2023 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections nationwide is generally peaceful.
The PNP has recorded 16 incidents today, which includes 6 shooting incidents in Barm, resulting in 5 fatalities and 11 individuals wounded. Voters in malls reported a vastly improved voting experience during the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. They said casting their votes was faster and more convenient. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Unlike the traditional voting scenario, voters who participated in COMELEC's pilot mall voting shared a different voting experience. They expressed that they were able to cast their votes faster and more conveniently, a sentiment particularly echoed by the elderly and persons with disabilities.
Gaya ko, PWD. Senior din ako. Mas maganda ngayon kaysa nakaraan.
Sa opportunity na binigay na dito kami boboto kasi napaka-convenient sa amin. Kasi previously nakikipagsiksikan kami sa school. Kaya ngayon dahil sa dito na kami sa SM Manila bumoto, napakasarap, napaka-komportable. Tsaka masaya po ako.
Yung oras mo, katulad yun, ako maraming magagawa. Nadala ko pa yung kapatid ko dito kasi hindi niya alam na ano ko pa siya. Tapos pagbalik ko na naman, mamaya na lang ang nanay ko naman. Yung madali lang, kasi dyan lang kami. Halos dyan lang ang bahay namin. Kaya madaling-madali. Walang kaano-ano.
Even parents with their children in tow found it easier to vote, and many described their voting experience as a family day.
Family day na rin kasi ngayon mo kasama mo, boboto ka, tapos kasama mo yung mga anak mo. O di pagkalabas bumoto, pasyal.
These voters in malls have voiced their desire to see mall voting return in the next elections. COMELEC has taken note of the high turnout in mall voting and plans to expand this initiative in the upcoming 2025 midterm elections. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
According to the Department of the Interior and Local Government, 8 persons deprived of liberty or PDL ran for positions in the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Interior and Local Government or DILG has noted that persons deprived of liberty or PDL have the right not only to exercise their right to vote but also to run for positions in the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections or BSKE. In a press conference earlier today, held during DILG Secretary Benher Abalos' visit to Manila City Jail, it was announced that 8 PDLs across the country are running for positions in the BSKE. 2 of them are vying for the position of barangay chairman, while the remaining 6 are seeking seats as barangay councilors. Abalos stated that these PDLs have been allowed by the state to run, considering that their cases are still pending. However, he emphasized that whether they can assume their positions after winning will depend on the outcome of their legal cases. If found guilty, they may be disqualified from taking their seats.
Yun ang ano ng proseso ng demokrasya, pero you still have to wait for the, kaya nga detainee wala pang judgment Kung yung judgment nito ay palalayain ka, kaikot ka na. Diba? Ano na, dismiss na yung kaso, pero kung yung judgment nito is disqualification from office, tanggal ka.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has strongly condemned the incidents of violence that marred today's Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE. Dante Amento tells us why.
Authorities have recorded a few incidents of violence during the conduct of Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE, today. These include a tearing of official manual ballots in a clustered precinct in Puerto Princesa City in Palawan, and a shooting incident in Dato Udin Sinsuat that tragically resulted in the deaths of 2 individuals. However, BSKE Commissioner in charge Ray Bulay stressed that these incidents should not overshadow the fact that Filipino electorates were able to exercise their sacred right to suffrage.
We abhor it and we condemn it. But those hiwa-hiwalay na incident is not enough to stop holding the election, and that is the requirement of the law.
Chairman George Erwin Garcia shares his sentiment, believing that violence will not overshadow the overall success and peaceful conduct of the elections. The affected individuals represent only a small fraction of the over 91 million voters across the country.
Generally peaceful po ang ating eleksyon sa buong bansa. Bagamat mayroong mga iilan na mga insidente ng karahasan na nangyari lalong-lalo na sa Bangsamoro.
Despite minor delays experienced in some clustered precincts in Mindanao due to security concerns, the polls continued, and as of this moment, the proclamation of winning candidates is ongoing.
Sinigurado muna maging maayos, hindi nagkakagulo sa ilang area doon, kaya hindi kagad diniliver yung mga eleksyong paraphernalia, kaya medyo na-late yun.
Proclamation of all candidates with pending cases in the commission will be suspended. This is through a recent memorandum released before the BSKE. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, on Monday, October 30th, Palestinians in Gaza witnessed intense air and artillery attacks as Israeli forces initiated a ground assault into the territory. These led to increased global appeals for safeguarding civilians. Militant operations have been conducted discreetly, with Israeli forces operating in darkness and a telecommunications blackout that has isolated Palestinians from communication and impeded rescue operations. Additionally, due to strikes near hospitals, Israeli authorities announced the evacuation of Al-Quds Hospital, which provided refuge for approximately 14,000 individuals.
Our fight is with Hamas, not with the people of Gaza. Hamas terrorists operate inside and under civilian buildings precisely because they know the IDF distinguishes between terrorists and civilians. This is why the IDF has been warning Gazan for over 2 weeks through multiple means of communication to move away from Hamas strongholds. Today, we increase that urgency of that warning.
Meanwhile, 50,000 individuals who had also sought refuge at Al-Shifa Hospital expressed apprehension regarding Israeli threats to the facility. There are also mounting concerns about the conflict spreading to neighboring regions, notably Lebanon, where there have been incidents of clashes between the Israeli military and the Iranian-backed Hezbollah group. Amid these dire circumstances, global appeals for civilian protection have surged. We'll share more global stories with you later. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The Philippine Weather Bureau Pag-asa has spotted a low-pressure area within the Philippine area of responsibility. As of 3 p.m., it was located 735 kilometers east of Virac, Catanduanes. This weather system, along with a shear line, will bring scattered rain showers and thunderstorms to the Bicol region, Mimaropa, Western Visayas, Eastern Visayas, and the northern portion of Cebu. Simultaneously, the northeast monsoon will bring rains over Batanes, Cagayan, Isabela, and Aurora. Isolated light rain is also expected in the Ilocos region, Cordillera Administrative Region, the rest of Cagayan Valley, and the rest of Central Luzon. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Several voters were met with long lines and slight machine issues at a school in Quezon City during its first automated barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan polls. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
The Pasong Tamo Elementary School piloted its automated Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE, with a throng of voters. Senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and even pregnant women were early to fall in line at the polling precincts.
Noong isang taon kasi madali. Ngayon pila. Dapat ang mga senior hindi na pila.
Yung pag-akyat lang kasi bird floor kasi, di ba? Pero hindi naman agad-agad makikita.
Mahirap, pakyat baba.
Pasong Tamo Elementary School is one of the 3 polling centers in Quezon City that were chosen for the pilot run of the automated village and youth polls. The other locations were the Judge Feliciano Belmonte Senior High School and CBE Town Covered Court. Issues on the vote counting machines, or VCMs, were also experienced, including paper jams and power interruption.
Napansin ko po every 5 person, dun po nagkakaroon ng paper jam. Tapos nagiging okay din naman agad. Pag pinalitan na po kasi yung BCM, ibig sabihin po, hindi na po nakakabasa. So, dahil po nakakabasa, tapos nagkaroon ng paper jam. So, normal lang po yun. Nakikita naman po ng mga voters yung binoboto nila. Pinapa-double check po namin na kung ano po yung binoto nila, yun din po yung lalabas ng receipt.
The chairman of the Barangay's Board of Canvassers says the VCM issues were just normal.
Very minor, kasama talaga yan sa pag gumagamit tayo ng mga equipment, no? Sabay-sabay, tapos although initially talagang we had the Meralco check the capacity, importante po na ibalik po namin agad, wala naman pong matagal na naging interruption.
However, some voters were displeased as they were unable to make it to the 3 p.m. deadline.
Right na nga lang ako ng angkas para lang sa ganun ay makaabot. 6 o'clock hanggang ang duty ko. 2 o'clock, syempre yung aking pag-i-endorsean pa.
Ayaw na po papasukin ng guardia. Sana papasukin pa kami kasi tayo naman boto namin.
Meanwhile, 8 international observers from various countries visited the school to check the automated system. A total of 133 cards from the 3 polling centers were manually uploaded to COMELEC's consolidation and canvassing system. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has decided to extend voting in a remote village in Abra, allowing voters to cast their ballots until 8 p.m. This decision comes in response to a significant disruption that lasted from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Grace Flores details why.
The casting of votes in Lapad, Balantay, Tinig, Abra was extended by approximately 5 hours after it was disrupted from 8:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. Attorney Richelle Belmes, Abra Provincial Election Officer, attributed the disruption to a shooting incident that occurred around 8:30 a.m. situation about 500 meters behind the voting center in Barangay Lapat, Balantay. The election officer explained that the teachers overseeing the precinct were so frightened and shaken that they initially refused to resume the voting process. However, election rules dictate that voting in any election should be continuous and uninterrupted. Responding swiftly to this situation, Belmes, along with members of the Provincial Joint Security Control Center, utilized a chopper to transport 3 police special electorate board members to replace the hesitant teachers. This was to ensure that the 258 voters at the precinct would not be disenfranchised.
But that was not the action on the part of the electoral board. Instead, according to the Philippine Army Forces, they said that they are declaring a failure of election, and that is a violation. They don't have any authority to declare a failure of election. Only COMELEC can declare a failure of election.
After hours of negotiation and explanation and following an order from COMELEC to arrest the teachers for violating the Omnibus Election Code, the 3 teachers finally acquiesced and resumed voting.
To proceed with the voting, and the number of hours when they were delayed should be also the number of hours they should extend the voting in that barangay.
Belmes mentioned that she had instructed the municipal election officer accompanied by the commander of the 102nd Battalion to proceed to Lapat Balantay. Additional incidents recorded from the beginning to the closing of the voting on Monday included the presence of politicians in voting precincts even if they were not registered voters in those areas.
Voting centers, like the presence of politicians within the perimeters of our voting centers, and the fact that they are not registered voters in these voting centers.
Grace Flores, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Ukraine has announced its plans to host a global peace summit set to bring together world leaders later this year. This announcement follows a gathering in Malta where representatives from 66 countries participated. The Malta meeting focused on several critical topics, including Ukraine's peace strategy in response to the Russian invasion, nuclear safety, food security, energy security, the release of prisoners and deported individuals, as well as territorial integrity. According to Ukraine's Deputy Minister Mykola Tochayskyi, the proposed Global Peace Summit is not only necessary, but also remains feasible as there has been a demonstration of global interest in its objectives. He added that although international attention may be divided, given ongoing military events like the Israel-Hamas conflict, President Zelensky's peace strategy is of utmost importance and can serve as a vindication of its significance. Meanwhile, Ukraine has been actively working to establish connections with governments in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. However, it now faces challenges due to differing positions regarding the Israel-Hamas conflict. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. The game is on for the 14 participating teams in this much-awaited UNTV Cup Season 10. As it reaches its first decade, public service remains at the heart of this charitable sports league. In the first game held at the Araneta Coliseum, the DANR Warriors emerged victorious against the PNP responders, followed by a thrilling battle of judiciary versus OPPMs. For this season, the championship will receive 3 million pesos for its chosen beneficiaries. Meanwhile, prior to the game, a public service booth was offered. Among these services are Pag-ibig, NHA Info Desk, and DFA, which catered to new and passport renewal services. Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God. From the book of Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 to 23, it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law." And those are the reasons behind the news, October 30, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Kat Maraos. We serve the people. We give glory to God.